Why, hello there. Welcome back to another video. Today I thought, seeing I have showed you through the Traveller Lounge and I have showed you the Palm Room, it might be time to start on some bedrooms. So there are four. I own one in one part of the house. I own my own sort of space, a whole wing, and then I've got three other bedrooms. So I was thinking, now which one shall I show you first? But I've decided I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk through and I'm going to start to show you the Explorer Suite. Now, as I've said in every video, I love to name things and this is no exception. So the Explorer Suite, how do I put this, is pretty much an expression of who I am. So I'm an explorer by nature because I was really lucky to grow up on a fairly big parcel of land in Brisbane as a kid. I was one of five kids. I had my first motorbike at 5. We didn't have a lot of friends over. It was mostly us kids all hanging out together, having fun. And we just always explored our property. We built cubbies. We hung out in the sandpit and made roads and cities and villages. It was just one of those childhoods that was pretty ideal, really. And our parents gave us complete free reign of that property. So from that moment, I became an explorer. We used to go out to our grandparents' property out near Wandoan and take our motorbikes, and we'd play near the silos and down by the dam getting yabbies. So all of us, my siblings, my 4 siblings and I, and both my parents, are real explorers by nature. So hence the name for this room. Now, I guess the things you'll see in here are a lot from my travels and things I've picked up. But anyway, I'm rabbiting on, so let me get to it. So to get to the Explorer Suite, let me give you some context. Okay, let me turn this around and I'm going to show you where I'm going. Right, we're going to head through the Traveller Lounge and we're going to come to the Explorer Suite. Now, I've made these little nameplates for each room. I don't know if you can see that, but it says the Explorer Suite. I bought these from Spotlight, and then using my stamp pad and stamps from down in my journaling section, I decided just to create those, and then I used some Velcro dots just to attach them. And I found these cute little hearts at the store around Christmas time, and they've just stayed there. So we're going to go into the Explorer Suite. Let me take you around, and then I'll come back and explain everything to you in detail. So this is the King Suite room, the largest of the rooms. Let's just do a quick little walk around, and then I'm going to go into a bit more detail for you. So each room, I'm very lucky. When I bought this house, I bought it specifically because they each had these little sleep out zones, and I've spent a long time turning them from what was like somebody's walk-in robe at one point into a whole new room. So it just effectively doubles the space for my visitors when they come here. And the women love that little extra space. So where do I start? So let's start with the story of the 4-poster bed, where I saw it on Marketplace in Brisbane and asked my son to come and help me put it in the car. They told me online it was a queen, and when I got there it was actually a king. Well, by the time we disassembled it and I'd borrowed my brother's van, it had to be strapped onto the roof, and at one point I nearly just left it behind. It was that hard. But anyway, no pain, no gain. It's now in the Explorer Suite and it looks really lovely. And it just has that sense of luxury, I guess. So what I did is, it didn't come with any curtaining. I went to, where did I go? Kmart, I think. And I bought these curtains. And then I actually bought some ribbon that you use to wrap gifts with. And I think I bought that. And I just decided to go with that color just to tie it in. So it was just a really quick, effective way of getting the back area done. So, then what I did is I got on Marketplace, I got these black lamps, and they're nothing extravagant, but they do the trick. They're just simple. And I bought these, I think from Early Settler at one point. And I just thought the carving and the patterns were perfect in terms of the nature of an explorer, sort of organic, rustic. I always put, for my guests, I always put one of these there because often we have earrings or earplugs or something like that, or a ring or a watch when we get into bed at night. And so it's always just kind of nice to have somewhere to put that so you don't lose it. Now with my beds, I always just think it's really good to start with white. It always really looks nice and fresh, and then you can add your color. So I've got this throw at the bottom here, and I'm not sure where that came from. It's been a long time, but maybe somewhere like Pillow Talk or Adair's or something like that. Couldn't be quite sure. So that's how I do the bedding. And honestly, I don't care about where things come from as long as they work. But I got these from Kmart quite a while ago, a couple of years I think. But they're really nice. They're organic. The shapes are nice, and they just lift the white linen. And then beside the bed, I just always keep a couple of old books and things like that, and you can prop your phone up on it or something. And I always like to put a little coaster, but this is another one of those hand-carved bedside tables, which I really like. I didn't have a lot of room, and I think what a lot of people do is they put big, heavy bedside tables in when they don't have a lot of space, and it crams the room. So if you don't have a lot of room, I know it's not as practical as having a drawer, but it's actually quite nice just to be able to have a little simple table like that you can slide in. Now, it's pretty hot here at the moment, but at the moment, so it's more fan weather. But I bought these electric heaters, and when they're turned on, they look like a little roaring fire. And they're just so lovely to have. So that's in there for winter, and they definitely get used. Now, look at this wall. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but these are all the different handmade handbags and things I've bought in all my travels. Things from Bali and who knows where else, a lot of them from Bali, I think. Things from op shops, that beautiful satchel. So I decided just to use this imperfect wall, which has still got holes in it and a bit of chipped paint, to just put my collection up there. You know, things like rosary beads. I guess we're trying to tell a story. I'm trying to tell a story here. If you're an explorer, you've got lots of different bags for different applications, and they're going to get used. So they go into the design. So don't be nervous about using things in your house like that for decor. You can do it. My son, Alex, he painted these when he was at school. I'm not even sure if they're in the right order, actually. I think they've been moved around. But anyway, they make me laugh, and they add a bit of interest to the room here. So I've also got this antique chest drawers, which I think I've probably had for nearly 30 years. And it's just one of those beautiful old pieces. You cannot go wrong with this. It can go into a lounge room, a dining room, a bedroom. And then in typical Carmen style, where I have to have a lot of things, I have I just love buying these bowls from op shops. Always just think they're beautiful, and I put collected shells and things in there. Another op shop find, this beautiful old sort of trophy vase, which I just adore. And I've just got some old feathers and things in there. And then these old books, which I always collect and use. And my grandfather, so my father's 92, and they were his glasses. So they're precious. So I put things like that there. And the women who come here are so respectful. There's never problems with anything getting broken or taken. So that's fine to leave those things there. And then I've got all these sort of art pieces. I just try and think of, okay, what's good in a black and white that would work? That's the Streets of Italy op shop find. These are Papua New Guinean sort of etchings, which are beautiful. Op shop find. You were like, Carmen, do you ever buy anything new? Well, yes, I do sometimes. This one's from, where did I buy that? I think I bought that from a Lee Settler. Anything that makes me think of exploring or adventuring. Op shop find with a, and then I put the, so I got this. I know these aren't everyone's cup of tea, but I think these turned wooden lamps are beautiful, but there was no shade with it. So I just went to Bunnings and I found just a simple organic looking shade, which is fine, does the trick. I got this beautiful old leather wooden rocking chair from Marketplace, and it was actually made here in Toowoomba back in the day, and you can see it's stained, people have sat on it, it's been used. It's a beautiful rocking chair. You can see me rocking it. It's so divine. So that's in the corner there. Plants, with plants in the house, I see this tray underneath. Whenever I'm in an op shop and I find those big trays, I always just buy them, because not only are they beautiful to put glassware and anything like that on, but they're fabulous under pot plants because there's no moisture can get through those. So I use those. Where did I buy these little shells? Germany, believe it or not, but they probably come from the Philippines, I'd say. And then I've got my little Explorer wall. So if I step back, I kind of like this space. And these masks, they were, so my ex-husband's father, I think one of those might have come from, and op shop. And that came out of my costume box. That's an Explorer hat, but it's perfect for this room. So that came out of the costumes. This binoculars case came from the op shop. And this beautiful, beautiful map, I bought the frame at an antique store and I framed it up, and it's actually a map I got in Germany, and it's all hand watercolored. And as I said, when you step back, just the colors of the green and the naturals and everything just really work with that little space. And then I just get things like this walking stick. It's all hand carved. Was my father's. My father used to work in New Guinea, so that's been around since I was a child. So that's taken on many years of travel to different houses, that walking stick. And then I just put things like bowls, another op shop find. It doesn't actually have to all match. In fact, I don't want it to match, as long as it all kind of works in together. Okay, so now we come through the door from the Explorer room. We're going through these doors and out into the little retreat space. I like to just call it the retreat space. So I'm going to take a little back view from here. Now, when I bought this house, see these windows at the back? They were covered in, what were they covered in? Wardrobes, all of them. And the windows were painted shut. So I had all the cupboards moved out. There were cupboards all along here. I had them all pulled out, and I had the windows. My beautiful cousins did that actually, and they cut all the paint back from the windows and were able to open them up again. So I now can open these up, get beautiful breeze in. But I love how they're still the original silky oak, and I haven't gone too worried about things like, you know, putty and finish it. It's just, it is what it is. I'm not trying to make everything perfect. You know, there's a few bits of paint up there, etc. It doesn't matter. So there's a shop in town here in Toowoomba called the Antipodean Home, and I got this beautiful butler's tray, which is a French, antique French apparently, tray, which is so lovely. And I thought I'll use this as the little tray to put the tea and coffee and everything on. And I just like buying things like this at the op shop for a few dollars, which then, you know, it's just fancier and nicer to put things in silver than everything being in plastic. Always a bit of greenery from the park. Always, I just can't do without my greenery. I've got this beautiful desk. I think I paid $80 for it at the Salvation Army, or actually Lifeline. And that's a little desk there, so that can be a makeup station. Oh, there I am, hello. A makeup station, or you can sit there and do some work. But I just love the Art Deco detail, the beautiful silky oak doors. I'm a bit of a sucker for silky oak, I must say. I think it's pretty timber. And I got these off Marketplace. They're two little old bedwood chairs. And then I thought I'd mix it with this table, which I got from, where did I get that? Provincial Home Living. and it's really nice if they just want to sit here and have a cuppa. Now, I think in the last video I was showing you some glasses, and I think I told you they were my father's, and then when I watched the video back I was like, no, they weren't my father's, they were my father's fathers, my great-grandfather. So I think what I tried to say was that my father's currently just turned 92 and they were his fathers. So, you know, these are probably about 150 years old, and they're little beautiful tortoise shell. So they're very special to me. They've even got his name on them. And so, yeah, they're really important. And then I've got beautiful books here and things that are special. Like this was a gift to me, this beautiful book. And yeah, it's just so gorgeous. And my friend Liz gave me this book, and she bought it because she knew that I would love it. It's got the inscription inside, who it's from, but you know, like the spine's all in this gold. It's just too precious just to put any old where, so it sort of sits here, pride of place for other people to enjoy. And my sister-in-law Kay gave me this little plant, which just seems to be thriving in this space, and it's doing okay. I must say I'm pretty good at keeping my plants alive. See this here, I bought that to use at the end of the bed, but I ended up moving it in here and putting it here as a luggage rack. So when the ladies arrive, or you know, I have my family here, everyone can put their suitcase on it, and it's just nice not to have to put it on the floor. And then I've got this rack from IKEA, which I reckon's pretty good. It just means that my guests have got, you know, their towel and everything here ready, but they've got lots of hanging space. And I made sure I put lots of hangers, but I don't know about you, but I just cannot stand going to a hotel and they give you 3 hangers. And I think I've just paid $200 a night for this, and I can't even hang up my clothes. You know, is it really hard to give me 10 coat hangers? So I thought I better not be a hypocrite, and lots of hangers. Now this is the wallpaper I chose to put in here, and I kind of like it because it's got a bit of a gold. It might be hard to see, but it's got this sort of gold embossed, and it just brings this room to life. So all of this room was in this old VJ, but this was originally a long veranda back in the day, which would have been open. You know, open sides and all the way through, and then they've sectioned it off at some point. So when I came, the wall was just a very basic, plain looking sort of cheap wall. So I patched it, repaired it, fixed it, painted all the floors and skirtings, and then I had the wallpaper. Guy Henry put it in for me, and he did a really good job, but it just makes such a difference. I really like it. And it's just really nice too that this house, which was built in about 1930, has still got these original French doors with the original glass. So it's nice that things haven't been ruined. I did make the brave choice to sand and paint all the floors in here white. And it is a bit of a pain at times because the little ants and things show up. You know, if they come in here and they die, or little insect flies in, you do see it. However, I think it was crucial to paint the walls and the floors white so that this feels really fresh and light and bright. It just makes such a difference. And I got a new light fixture. I got on that online. I think it could have been from Temple & Webster, and I really liked it. I just tried to find something that didn't look too old worldly but was still in keeping, and so I've put that up here, which I really like. And the ceiling's interesting. It I don't know why, but it reminds me of being in Germany or Switzerland or something like that. Those cute little old Tudor buildings. Well, I don't know if it's called a Tudor building. I'm probably completely wrong. It's probably more English, but anyway. So that's the Explorer room with the sleep out there. And yeah, I think what I've tried to do, I'll just finish on this note because you're probably getting bored. But what I tried to do is I just try and think and consider, what would people want when they come? How do I make it comfortable? How do I give them shelves? How do I give them some drawers? How do I make sure they've got somewhere to put their bag? And all those things make a difference. And power points to charge your phone, all those little things that I try and do to make it special, I suppose. So there you go, the Explorer Suite, done and dusted.